Hello again, Dodger fans. We promised you we would do more of this, right? It wasn't just going to be yesterday with Stan and Andrew. We're back for round two. That means Joe Davis here with Orel Hershiser. Orel, hello, buddy.
Good morning, everybody. I'm looking forward to our guest today. It is going to be fun to do a lot of these and get to catch up with everybody.
Why don't we catch up with the skipper? Hello, Doc. How are you doing?
Guys, I'm doing well. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys. I'm used to seeing you guys on an everyday basis, so I'm looking forward to this. Thanks for having me on.
We are not hanging around the batting cage like we do, Joe, with him.
Yeah, I know. The whole thing is weird, right? Which we talked about it plenty yesterday. But Dave, for you, how did this, from your chair, how has this all evolved? It just seems like for everybody in the world, no matter the position, it moves so quickly, going from, hey, we should probably pay a little more attention to what's going on with this virus thing, to, my gosh, the whole world is shut down, and obviously baseball is a small part of that.
Certainly, yeah. It happened quick, guys, and like for everyone. And baseball certainly is secondary, which we all understand that. But to your first question is, you're getting ready. You go through spring training. You're getting through it, and you're looking forward to kind of getting the season underway, and you got your pitchers and everyone all kind of dialed in. The kind of team is coming together. The fans are all excited and energized. And you hear about this coronavirus that, when you're in spring training, as you guys know, you're sort of in a bubble and you don't really care or know what's going on outside of you because you're just so hyper-focused on getting the team ready for the Major League season. And so as information and Lon Rosen, ownership has been was very good about educating us and kind of getting us ahead as far as we could about this is really serious. And so us kind of trying to get ahead of it and take precautions as an organization, we did what we could. But now it just kind of comes to an abrupt halt. So now it's more of trying to be educated. I've been reaching out to players and coaches, trying to keep them positive and I just look at this, guys, as a time that, you look outside and it's very sad and scary with the uncertainty, but there are a lot of positives, I think, that I'd love to get through with you guys in this conversation. But there's a lot going on.
Just to stay on the timeline, Dave, that day that camp was getting shut down and we were all in the hallway kind of talking, Andrew and you and me and Clayton and everybody, there's about 6-8 of us, Joe Jarrett from the PR department. What did it feel like then after camp got shut down and then guys were deciding to stay? What was that next week like before all of a sudden it just was all cut loose?
It was very surreal because everyone just was leaving and trying to figure out, guys leaving town. Is there going to be a season? When is the season going to start? Because I think in life and certainly in sports, guys work better when they know when there's something to a start time, an end time. And now it's like, okay, now I can ramp up and gear up. And then, so now it's kind of put on our plate like, okay, we don't know if there's a season, when it's going to start. We're going to keep the facility open because we want to keep you guys ramped up, keep you guys healthy, keep the staff healthy. And then there was an April 9th, I think, start time initially. And then that got pushed back. And then everyone started kind of going home, and some guys went home. Some guys stayed in Arizona. Some guys went to Los Angeles. I decided to go home and be with my family. So just that uncertainty, guys, just really put a wrench in a lot of things.
How are you on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis communicating with your players now?
There's a lot of FaceTime. There's text messaging. There's phone calls. There's a lot of, with the coaching staff, there's a lot of TikToks going on. So that's pretty funny. Chad Shop is the leader of this, but guys have been doing TikToks, and I actually, with my daughter's urging, was part of a TikTok. It wasn't the whoa. There's this thing called the whoa, something like that. So, but it wasn't that one. It was something else. So I did that one. And actually, it's kind of in that note, in that vein. We spent a lot of good time together, my family, and really being sensitive to what is going on out there, guys. But I think that, I'm watching a lot of Joe's cooking. I haven't seen any virtual poker tournaments with you and Dana, Orel. But we've done some cooking, some walking, some shows. obviously some TikTok. So our family, it's like, for me, it's like we have a freshman college baseball player. So to get this time back with him under our roof is kind of crazy. And so just to connect with my family, the players, the coaches, that's been good. And I think for our country and our world, I see that happening, which is a good thing. And you guys know me, I'm a pretty positive guy. So I do see the positive in that, obviously taking into consideration what is going on, but also to see people doing a lot for people out there.
You always can turn things to the positive. It's amazing. And one of the things I'm thinking about is your career with the Dodgers back in managing. This has got to be the most successful, healthiest, and impactful spring training you were having, you know, with Mookie Betts, with the health of Clayton Kershaw and Kenley Jansen finding his cutter and everything that was happening in camp. It was your best spring training ever.
It was, Orel, and I think that you can go back and people that watch this or hear this or know us or played baseball can look back at spring trainings, you know, decades ago, let alone my first spring training 5 years ago, and just, you know, with our training staff, Brandon McDaniel and his staff, and just kind of understanding workload management and put players in the best position and sleep management and nutrition and all this stuff. And obviously you acquire good players or great players, as you mentioned, Mookie and David. But like, we were in a great spot. Kenley, his body and his cutter, and Clayton going to drive line, and just all these things that, we were in a good spot. So, you know, Orel, whatever happens, we want to play baseball. Yeah. And, you know, me talking to players, coaches, my family, it's kind of like an amendment for everybody. You know, this year essentially has to be an amendment. And I think that so much now we're thinking about being creative and out of the box thinking. This has got to be at the top of the list as far as all of us, not just baseball, but kind of how we get to play baseball, as far as, you know, shortening the season. You know, there's got to be a draft, shorten the draft. Like, this is a test for all of us, and nothing has to stick, but how do we get through this, you know, as people, as an industry, you know, just to keep it on the micro right now.
Things are going to have to change, right? Just like after 9/11, things are going to have to change, but it doesn't have to be a negative change. It could be some really good positive change for the game and for entertainment for the fans and for everybody.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is, though, is that, and you mentioned 9/11, I remember going back after 9/11, and, you know, America, our country wanted sports. They wanted baseball. And, you know, baseball is an entertainment business, and we need baseball. Everyone in the industry needs it. And you can look back at fans and looking at old games and highlights, and it just shows people want entertainment. And so how do we do that? What's the best way? Yeah, we just got to figure it out. And Tony Clark is a friend of mine, and Rob Manfred, friend of mine, and I know a lot of people on both sides, and I'm kind of like in the middle. It's interesting now being a player, coach, and now manager, where you know, and I can kind of look at it as like, we need baseball. So how are these sides going to come together and benefit all of us?
I remember being at the podium when the World Series got canceled in 95 or 94. And I remember bawling, going, that was the only thing that came out of my mouth. It's like, I just want to play baseball. We just want to play baseball. Let's get this thing solved. And that's kind of what this is all about too. We want to get back to the fans and get back to what we love.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is that, you know, the CDC and all these people that are a lot smarter than we are, that are trying to guide us. And you know, I do think that, you know, for us to be really proactive as, you know, as a country, outside of our country, and the social distancing, all this stuff has been very educational. So the more serious we can take this, the sooner we can get back to doing what we love, because obviously the curve where it's at, and we got to be responsible. And like I said, that's the encouragement that I see from, whether it be you guys, celebrities, you know, people outside of our industry, encouraging all these people to take it serious, because it is serious.
Dave, when's the last time, late March, you were sitting at home?
I wish I could say when I was, before I signed, but it was actually, guys, it was in 2010 when I was diagnosed with cancer, and I was just got done doing some TV, radio stuff. And so I remember, you know, if you go back 10 years, I think right around this time, I had just started chemotherapy. And so the good thing is my hair is thinned out, but I have hair. So back then I didn't have hair. And my then father shaved his head. My brother-in-law shaved their heads to support me. So that was the last time I was home. So I don't get to see I'm looking out in my backyard right now and the weather's great. Pool's still a little chilly, but going out there walking the dogs right now, it's been fun. But yeah, it's been 10 years.
Did the positive attitude get increased when all of a sudden you beat cancer?
You know what? I think, Orel, it's always kind of been that way, and I think that people that have known me since I was a child realize that about me. When we go through tough times as an organization, they see that. My player, I was an average player, so I had a lot of tough times. So still remain positive. Even going into cancer, I was positive. I remember my wife and I, we were in the Chili's when I got diagnosed, and we're like, okay, we got to tell Cole, who was then 10, and my daughter, who was 6 at the time, that dad had cancer and he was sick. So I remember being there, and Emmy just didn't really get it, but Cole got it. And I think we were positive going into it. I think our faith was a big part of it, but yeah, we got through it, and better for
it. Thursday, obviously, we're 2 days away from what would have been opening day.
Oh, it kills me.
Right? I know. I hate even bringing it up. What are you positive? What are you going to miss most when Thursday's here and we're sitting here how we are now? Maybe we'll get on FaceTime and chat again. But what are you going to most look forward to when opening day does hopefully inevitably happen at some point?
Oh, it's going to happen, Joe. It's going to happen in 20. What I'm going to miss is just the build up, the excitement. I mean, gosh, opening day. we wait months for this day, and just it's always seems like it's a perfect day, and just what everyone, there's always one opening day, and it's like, the night before I go to bed, and you kind of take that deep breath and go, here we go, another Major League Baseball season, and everyone's optimistic. I'm going to miss that, that feeling, but when it does happen, I'm going to revisit that. And I do think that, we could do this. We can get this little trio back together and talk about the opening day. So I might open up a great bottle of champagne to celebrate the initial opening day.
Before the game? Before the game, that's pretty good.
Before the game. And then the one that starts, the one that will happen in 20, I'll open up one the night before. How about that?
Of that. But you know what? You could almost say, guys, that it's going to when it does happen, it's going to heighten all those sensations you're talking about. We're going to have to wait much longer for it to happen. Can you imagine how amazing the day is going to be when we get there?
So that's right. That's right. How many times have you guys heard this? It's a long season. It's a marathon. It's early. Once we get going in 20, you better not hear that, and you won't hear that from our guys, because it's going to be a sprint. And so, it's interesting to see kind of how we're built, for the course of 162, and you talk about depth and all that stuff. But once that season gets shortened, it's a sprint. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, with Los Angeles, California being one of the epicenters, with New York being one of the epicenters. I remember the Mike Piazza at bat in New York after 9/11. There's some unbelievable moments where baseball just capsulized all the feelings that we have that have been pent up to get out and to be amongst our family and friends and other fans, and to have that energy. It's just going to be ridiculously exciting. And we hope it's a shorter wait than a longer wait.
No, it's going to be. I think, Orel, it's going to be emotional, because I think that obviously we're still in the midst of this, and you're talking about what wakes people up. I have a friend of mine that has friends in Italy, and what woke up, the people in Italy were the deaths of the elders. And so now when you're talking about people that are losing lives, and baseball as America's sport, once we get going, and you're talking about grandparents that are lost, it's going to be emotional. It's going to be exciting, but there's going to be, people are going to be missed. And I just can't wait for us to kind of get this vaccine, get this thing taken care of, and get going, get back to what we love to do and what our country loves seeing us do.
And in the meantime, Dave, I just give you the floor to give one last message, and we'll do this again soon. But for now, a message to Dodger fans out there.
Message to Dodger fans. First off, I just want to say thank you from myself, the players, the staff, the organization itself, ownership. These are the best fans. You guys are the best fans in all of sports, bar none. And as we say in the clubhouse, check the numbers. And the Dodger fans show up. So thank you for all the support, all the positivity. You guys support our players just to the end. And so I think that in this time right now, just enjoy your families, the time that we do get with our families, make the most of it. Stay safe. Be very mindful and thoughtful of other people that you could affect, that could be affected by you guys, by all of us. But I think for me, it's just a sense of gratitude that for me to be a part of this Dodger family as you two guys are, and it's just a sense of gratitude. And I wish everyone well, and I think my little puppy Sunday wishes you guys all well too.
Hey, Skip, it's going to be great to see you around the cage again and get back to normal, but we do have to do what you say right there. We got to wash our hands. Mine are cracking. They've been washed so much. It's unbelievable, but we got to take our precautions. But I look forward to hanging out with you in person again. And this was fun. We got to do it again. When we do, we got to break down the roster. We'll get into some baseball stuff.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it again, and I'll give all of our Dodger fans an update.
We'll hold you to it. Thank you, Dave.
All right, guys. Have a good one.